Now let's focus on waste management tariff formation in those three countries that I talked about as of 2021. And we will start with Germany. So in Germany, the tariff formation policy is calculated based on the outcome of two components. The first is the fixed component that is paid per family or based on the size of the house or the apartment, the number of the family members or the number and volume of the provided personalized waste bins. And on the other hand, there is a second component which is variable. And it is calculated either by weight or based on the number of waste bins picked, the number of times you roll out your waste bin for collection. And after analyzing more than 20 independent resources, it became clear that the municipal waste management economics for waste generator in Germany is based on two main pillars. One is capturing the full cost, and one is encouraging the source segregation. So each resident in Germany receives 3 bins. One is for biodegradable waste, one is for mixed waste, and one is for the recyclables. The volume of each bin is determined by the municipality rules and regulations or according to the generator's order. But the larger the volume of the waste bins, the higher is the monthly fixed tariff. If the fixed tariff is paid per family or based on the house size, then there is only the standard waste bin size that applies. Now, the fixed tariff can be paid, of course, monthly or annually. And there is a collection schedule for each waste bin, and it is fixed by each municipality. And the residents only pay for the pickup if they roll out the waste bin at the designated place and time. If the waste bin is further than the contractual distance for collection point, which is usually 15 to 30 meters, it is different and varies from one municipality to other. Or if it is heavier than specified in the contract, then the residents will pay an extra fee. However, waste generator can receive discounts for self-delivering the waste to the recycling center or for in-house composting. Now, on the other hand, and to be fair, the variable cost is under the full control of the waste generator. Let me explain how. Other than not bringing the waste bin out for collection or self-delivering the waste to the recycling point, the fixed and variable tariff components are different for different bin types of the same volume. And in general, the most expensive bin in terms of fixed and variable tariff is the bin that is dedicated for the mixed waste. The next comes the bin dedicated for biodegradable waste. It is usually 30% less. The recyclables waste bin in general and as a rule is free of charge. So you don't pay anything for it. Even in the very, very rare cases where you pay the fixed fee, you do not pay the variable fee per collection. The next example is Switzerland. And the analysis of waste management tariff formation in 78 Swiss municipalities has shown that these tariffs are dynamic and heavily dependent on the recycling rates and the total revenue generated from them in the previous period. So residents are motivated to improve recycling rate by receiving discounts on their fees based on the performance result in the previous audited period. In general, Swiss tariff policy is similar to the one that is implemented in Germany. So it is composed of two components, fixed and variable. However, there are, of course, nuances. So in some municipalities, the fixed tariff per house or apartment is based on the square area, but in others, it is based on the number of rooms. There are exemptions from the payment made for minors and in the same time discounts for the senior citizens. In some municipalities, couples receive also discount comparing to the payment per single person. In other municipalities, we have noticed that the tenant would pay more than the owner. Now, when it comes to the variable component tariff, Switzerland has taken its own approach, of course. And it seems that the official waste bag is the basis of the waste collection and the variable tariff system. So waste generators can choose from variety of standard waste bags, and each of them has different price based on its volume and the weight limitation. And this, of course, allows the waste generator to be in charge and to manage his own variable tariff. One way to control the variable payment, by the way, is also to choose from collection, transportation, and treatment options that are allowed for different materials by each local authority, and you can see them here. In some cases, you can see that the waste generator even is allowed to sell certain types of recyclables as a scrap, but he has to sell it only to authorized buyers. And the last example is Netherlands. To be honest, it was a fascinating experience to analyze the waste management tariff formation in Dutch municipalities. The level of the detail available in waste management database was astonishing. So over the course of my 5 years research, I was able to analyze data from 383 municipalities with a total population of around 16.5 million persons. The analysis revealed that there are 6 main tariff formation systems in use as of 2021. So these 6 tariffs are based on the fixed tariff per person, fixed tariff per household, a fixed annual rate based on the waste container volume, payment per pick that varies, of course, dependent on the volume of the waste bin, a payment every time the waste bag is thrown into a public container or picked up from collection point, and finally a payment per kilogram. In total, municipalities have made 21 different complex waste management tariff systems that are designed by combining 2 or more of these basic 6 systems and being used as of 2021. However, the dominant system used in 161 municipalities with population of around 10 million is the tariff based on the number of residents or family members. The remaining municipalities with population over 6 million use a variety of different combinations, as I mentioned before. Now, I hope this video has given you an idea on how the 3 leading European countries have successfully implemented a nearly foolproof waste management system, taking into consideration both organizational and economic factor. However, I am aware that there is still one major issue that has not been addressed, and it is related to us here in MENA region. It is the argument that often arises when I discuss these leading practices with MENA waste managers. And this argument goes like this: it is too expensive and we cannot afford it here for our region. And I wanted to conclude this video by making a response with 2 counter arguments. The first, the full cost of waste management, including its consequences, is ultimately paid one way or another. And if certain cost components are not properly accounted for, anyway, it is the responsibility of the local authority to subsidize it. and it subsidizes it usually from the government budget. So it is paid anyway, and it is your choice whether to keep paying it from government pocket, encouraging the waste generator to increase the waste generation and to keep mixing, or to implement polluter pays system. And by the way, if there is interest, there is a lot to say about this part, and I am ready to also include videos that will discuss the economic and financial modeling of waste management, because in my opinion, this is very interesting. Now, secondly, I spent a considerable time studying or determining, let's say, the cost per ton of waste for the generator, the waste generator, I mean, in each of these countries. And this was done in order to verify the validity of such argument. And here are the results. First, to calculate the household waste management cost in Germany, the average fixed cost per container size was determined for the most commonly used sizes, and the cost per liter was also averaged, and then the total cost per municipality was derived. The number of waste generators was obtained from the official database, assuming 3 residents per household or apartment, of course, with 2 of them being taxpayers. This resulted in an average estimation of 345 euros per ton of waste, and in terms of percentage, this amount is approximately 0.5% of the average annual family income. In regard to Switzerland, and after combining the data on the numbers of taxpayers, the official information on the real estate occupancy status, and the cost of household waste management for Swiss taxpayers, it turned out that the cost of waste management is approximately 419 euro per ton. This amount is around 1.6% of the annual income after tax, or less than 1% in absolute values. The method used to calculate the same for Netherlands involved considering 4 most commonly used waste management tariff formation methods in order to be fairer. And the total cost of waste management has been calculated to be 451 euro per ton, with the tariff system consisting of fixed annual tariff, payment per waste collection or per waste pick, and payment for the official bags collected. And this, by the way, is the most expensive tax formation method. And it appears that the total waste management cost per taxpayer then in the Netherlands would range between 1% and 1.4% of their net annual income. Now, I would like to ask you and hear from you, and I mean my colleagues in waste management here in MENA region. Are these numbers really significant enough to discourage us from adopting similar system in MENA region?